What's good, y'all? My name is Dylan Green, and this is Real Notes, a space dedicated to blurring the cultural and artistic lines between rap and film. I'm here to chop it up with everyone from rappers and producers to journalists and video directors about their relationship to movies and how, if at all, film inspires their craft. My guest this week is Florida-bred rapper, producer, and label head Anonymuz. We spoke about the magic of A24 movies, SpiderMan, superhero fatigue, Willem Dafoe, Silence, the work of Martin Scorsese, One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, the value of art, putting himself in his music, his path to becoming a rapper-producer, the significance of the Radicxl movement, striving to be regular, and the creative process behind his latest project, ANAGO. Come fuck with us. I forgot you had moved out to Cali, and you were even just like, yeah, like I'm out here now, and I was like, what?
yeah, real shit. Yeah, I feel great. I'm like, it's nice. It doesn't rain ever. Honestly, I feel like that's so good. A lot of people are like, oh, I hate the fact that it doesn't rain. I'm like, nah, this is amazing for my mental health. Every day it's either sunny or it's sunny.
Yeah, no seasonal depression. Like,
yeah, literally.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Before we get started, what I'm so curious, since we haven't like really talked about it, like because you told me you were really nervous about this. And
about the project coming out?
Yeah, so now it's out. It's been out for a grip. Like, how do you feel about it? How's the response been? How do you feel about all of it?
I feel like it's a weight off my shoulders. Like, I just put it out. At the end of the day, like, I was nervous, but I just wanted it to be out. I just had all these feelings, and it was like, yeah, like, all right, so I'm the type of person that, like, I can't not say something. Like, if somebody has me fucked up, or like if I'm ever upset, I have to say something, even if they don't like it, or even if it doesn't resolve something. Like, it's just like, I can't let it reside within me. I can't just like not say something, you know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, that's
how it felt with this. I was like, bruh, I have all this shit in my head, in my heart. Like, I just have to let it out. So now it just feels great. I just feel relieved, you know what I'm saying? I honestly, it's so funny. Like, I was worried, but like, I at some point I just stopped caring. I was like, I don't give a fuck how niggas feel about this, because this is really what I went through. It's really my life. Like, I lost my uncle, I lost my dad, I lost my friends, I lost love, I lost family, I lost so much shit. And like, I was really going through it, and I really just like fucking put it on wax. So I have, I don't care. But the response has been great. A lot of people are like, yo, this is your best project, or if it's one of your best. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you guys fuck with it.
Yeah, you really can't ask for more than that, especially for something so personal. And like, you're someone who's always been like, you've always been like I'm gonna like put my heart on the table and let you look at it type of person, like from jump, basically. So like this is like even more of that, like I'm gonna bring it up later, but I meant to tell you this, but some of it like structurally and story wise kind of reminded me of Maxwell Cream's Brandon Banks, because that's also like about his relationship with his dad. Right. But like, obviously it's not like, it's like its own thing, but like I just saw the parallels and I was like, that's cool, because I really love that project too. So yeah. What's cracking? Welcome back to Real Notes. This is the first episode I've recorded in I think like 2 months. So I'm like I'm just trying to get back in the swing of like, I'm talking into a mic. Like, I had mic issues before, but apparently everybody can hear me, so we're doing good. Dylan Green, CineMasai. I got a lot of names. I do a lot of shit. Back to doing a lot of shit.
Whole lot.
And this is, like, once again, got somebody here who also has got a few names, but he does a lot of shit. Like, a lot of shit. Like, fucking, as a rapper, he's a producer. He's a Yu Yu Hakusho enthusiast, among many other things. Florida's finest, Radicxl extraordinaire, Anonymuz. We got Anonymuz in the building. This has been a long time coming. Bro, thank you so much for coming here. I know you're a busy motherfucker, but I appreciate you being here.
No, I appreciate the invite. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Big vibes, man. Of course, had to come through. Show love.
Oh man, you already know. Like just to like let everybody know, like the first like the first time I'd really been exposed to your music was when I first heard Urameshi, and I was just like I don't even remember how I found it. Like either somebody sent it to me, or like I stumbled across it somehow. Like shout out to whoever maybe sent it to me, and I listened and I was like, who the fuck is this nigga? Like what the fuck? Like so like it just kind of blew me, and then we kind of stumbled across each other on Twitter, and things developed, and yeah, you know, like ANAGO is out now. It's great. It's fantastic. And we're gonna get into all of that and you and movies and shit. So thank you for being here again.
Of course, man. Of course. Had to.
So yeah, let me ask you this first question I ask everybody who comes on here. What was the last movie or TV show you watched that you had a strong opinion about?
Ooh, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh my God. I'll never stop talking about this movie. How'd you feel about it?
That movie was great. It was fantastic. I'm a big fan of anything that's not superhero movies. I'm not gonna lie. I might sound like a hater, but I'm tired of all that Marvel shit. I'm tired of it. It's too much. Like I'm like, yo, please show me anything else. So like I'm always fiending for any other movie. I need to watch Nope. I haven't seen Nope yet, but Nope, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, it was. Okay,
it was crazy.
Okay. I gotta peep. Maybe I'll go watch it today. But yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I loved it. I think her name is Michelle Yee. I'm sorry if
Michelle Yeoh, I think.
Okay. Yeah, she slid. She went crazy. It was a great movie. A24 always does their thing. Well, usually, you know what I'm saying? I want to say a good 8 out of 10 of their movies, they knock it out of the park.
Yeah. There's a couple that aren't super great. I saw Men like a couple months ago. I wasn't feeling that as much as I thought I might be. But Everything Everywhere All at Once is fucking crazy. Like I think
slid on that.
I think I've seen it like 3 times at this point. and maybe
I bought it
for a fourth. Oh, you bought it?
Yeah, I bought it on my Apple TV. I was like, yeah, this movie is great. Like I bought it. I was like, yeah, for sure. Fuck it. $20. I'll support it. So I'm big into speaking with your wallet.
Yeah. That shit is so important, especially for movies. Like people always wonder, like, you know, you were just saying, because like, you know, like cards on the table, I'm a big Marvel person, but I completely understand the fatigue because they're kind of everywhere right now. But it's like, people always wonder, like, why is it nothing but superhero movies? And it's because like, that's what people are paying to go see. Like, you got to support the shit you want to watch. Like, for real.
Speak with your wallet. You know what I'm saying? I tell that with everything. I even told that to my fans when I first started putting out albums. I was like, if y'all really want me to fucking, you know what I'm saying, like be around, buy my shit. Or I don't give a fuck. Cause like I think there's this thing where people like to be like, just do it for the art and da-da-da. Everybody who's a creative, I just want to put this out right now. Everyone who's a creative does it for the art. But at some point you become an adult and you have to put food on the table too. So it's like, do you want me to focus on this at a high level, or do you want me to kind of do it and you get an album once every fucking 4 or 5 years, who knows, maybe, and I'm gonna do something else. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, speak with your wallet.
Right. And you know, like you're at a position right now where you have a pretty dedicated, very dedicated base that are willing to do that. And that's really it's honestly been incredible to see it grow from Vice City to Urameshi to like There Is No Threat felt like a really big turning point. And then you did the shit with Sprite, and now this is here. Like, you know, it's been a path. So like that shit matters. Like putting your money where your mouth is definitely matters. And
definitely.
And it's cool with Everything Everywhere All at Once too, because I think that's the first A24 movie to gross $100 million globally. Like it just hit that mark like last week, which is crazy. Because considering how big and like how much everybody loves to talk about the others, like for this to be the first one to make more than 100 million is kind of nuts.
That's crazy. I think the other ones have had their success by being on streaming platforms and people just kind of hearing about them. Like, so for me, Ex Machina was a big one. That's probably one of my favorites. Same. But I found Ex Machina on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's one of those things that I didn't see it in the theaters, you know? So like, I think that's where it comes from. I think A24 has, you know, built up a name enough that people are like, all right, it's lit. I mean, they're still fine. Like they got Euphoria on HBO. That's HBO's biggest show, in my opinion. Since Game of Thrones ended, Euphoria became its biggest show. So
facts.
It'll be all right.
They'll definitely be cool. It's just like, because they're in like this weird position where like they're technically like an independent distributor, but they have but I think they had like money seeded from somewhere. I don't know. Like I'm not trying to bullshit, but like, like they're just in a really, they just kind of give people the opportunity to just like make really weird out there shit that might not like, and that's like, we need more stuff like that. Even if all of it isn't good, like that's like, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. Yeah. It's like I'd rather people just try something different and it doesn't go off all the way than never try anything different. That's what I always tell my fans. I'm like, I'm never gonna put out the same project twice because I want to experiment. I want to do something else. Like it's so boring to do the same thing over and over and over again. Like I'm good off that.
Yeah, nah, like like and like shout out to people who have kind of like honed in on a formula and just want to do that, because that's always cool too.
Oh yeah, of course.
I love that shit. But like it's on, but like if you want to keep pushing yourself, like and it
it's part of every artist's artistical journey. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can really just hone, if you find your sound and you're like, this is what I'm going to focus on. Amazing. More power to you. Me personally, especially because I picked up producing and everything like that, I just want to challenge myself to other genres and other things that I can do to see how crazy I can get in every lane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel it. So before we get into all of that, let's run it even further back. What's the first experience you can remember having watching a movie? It could be at the theater, it could be at your cousin's house, it could be wherever, like the first time.
I think maybe it was when I was legit watching the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire in the theaters. Hey. I think that might be my first. I just remember being like, yo, this is crazy. Yeah, that might be my first one.
Man, that movie is so special too. Like that was cause that was around that, coming back to the superhero shit, that was like around the time when like those movies were starting to become like really big.
Yeah. That was one of the first of its kind. And like, trust me, I was a huge superhero movie like fan. It just, like I said, it was just too many.
Yeah, I get it. And like there's just something so special about that first Spider-Man one, because they really tried to make it as like comic book faithful as possible, like in the sense that like it really felt like they pulled the shit out of the 60s. Like my favorite scene in the whole movie is when he's like trying to figure out how to do the web, and he's just like with the hands, and he's like, magic web, go web. Like,
go. Yeah, that was lit. Yeah, definitely probably my favorite. It's definitely my favorite Spider-Man movie. For sure. Willem Dafoe, he snapped as the goddamn Green Goblin.
God, dude, like performance for the ages. Like really, like still
Willem Dafoe, man, he's a GOAT, man. I mean, we was just talking about A24 movies, killed in the Lighthouse too. Willem Dafoe, man, give that nigga his flowers, man. That nigga can act, man. Willem Dafoe can act.
For real. I was just watching somebody put the clip of him doing that monologue, like the Poseidon monologue from the Lighthouse.
Okay.
And I just watched it again, and I was like somebody noticed he does that whole scene without blinking once. It's like one shot and he never blinks. It's like almost 2 straight minutes of just him just like this. And it's like just,
that motherfucker's crazy. He's crazy. I you know what I'm saying? I'm really in the movie. So like, yeah, I really appreciate actors when I feel like they can really fucking act, man. I love that shit.
Yeah, man, me too. Like for real. Like, oh, and before we move on, you said that the first Spider-Man's your favorite. I think mine is probably mine is still Into the Spider-Verse, the animated one.
Okay.
That came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was a great one. Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah, like to me, like hot take, that might be the best superhero movie ever made.
Maybe. Oh, okay. All right. I think it's definitely up there. I think the Spider-Man movies have always just been quality. I think there has never been one that I've walked away from and been like, oh, this was whack. Even the one with Jake Gyllenhaal had some insane sequences when he was Mysterio.
Yeah, Mysterio. He was Mysterio. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was. I mean, movie wise, it was cool, but there was some sequences in that bitch that was like, damn, that was wild. They had some Inception type shit in there. It was crazy. So Spider-Man movies have always been good. I think my favorite superhero movie of all time might be Watchmen, though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Ooh, wow, good choice. Watchmen's good as shit too. Kind of underappreciated because a lot of people were mad about the ending because the ending's different from the book. But like, I like
that. The book ending is weird. You know what I'm saying? You got that giant squid and all sorts of weird. I like the way how they did it with the movie. I think that was the right choice. There are some times where the comic does get it wrong. I think another example of this in superhero culture is The Boys. I think the changes they've made as far as the show is way better than what they're doing in the comic, because the comic was basically just a fuck superheroes comic. But I like what they did where they made it more so like superheroes are like celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's definitely more real. And then you think, oh, this guy's supposed to be so great and da 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 da. And I mean, speaking as somebody that's in the entertainment industry, I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of like, you're supposed to be this good guy and you're a fuck nigga. That's crazy. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I haven't seen all of The Boys. Because I was talking to somebody else about it, and I have started it. I'm not all the way caught up. I have feelings about it that I'm not gonna get into right now. But the thing I fuck with is that it does the things I like about The Boys. It does remind, like, it's almost like a combo of like Watchmen and like Kick-Ass, because like Kick-Ass, the book especially had that sort of like cynical like fuck superheroes type thing going on, which I wasn't really into, but like once again, the Kick-Ass movie really like took a lot of the issues I had with the Kick-Ass book and turned it into something crazy. So I'm thinking, so like eventually I'm gonna catch up on The Boys and I'm gonna see what everyone's been talking about, because like everyone in the world that I know has just been like, oh Dylan, you gotta watch The Boys, like this is gonna be your shit, you're gonna love it, and I'm like watching it so far and I'm like, it's cool. I'm like, like I don't know if I'm jacking it just like that yet, but like it's cool. It's cool.
I think it's because I had superhero fatigue that I ended up loving The Boys so much, because like I had the same problem when I was dealing with like anime and manga. I was tired of like the power of friendship and like all this, the good guys always win. That's why like my second favorite is probably Infinity War. Like not Endgame, because they bring everybody back. Like fuck that. I was like, no, you niggas are fighting planet killers. Like there needs to be some sort of like, I don't know. There needs to be something. There needs to be something. It can't just be like, and everybody lived and everything was fine and the power of friendship and we beat the bad guys. Hooray! Like I'm like, this is bullshit. If a nigga who really is fucking trying to destroy half the universe came to Earth, you'd fuck shit up. Yeah. For sure. Niggas would die and it would be over with. So like that was my thing. That's why I feel like I like The Boys, because I was like, all right, well, anybody can die. There's consequences to their actions. Like I like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Same thing made me fall in love with Game of Thrones before they fucked that up.
See, Game of Thrones is a show I never really touched, but everybody hates the ending. No, I've talked to like dozens of people, bro. Like
it's the worst. No, it's they really folded. Talk about the most amazing thing you've ever seen. Talk about, I don't know, LeBron dropping 50 and then missing the game winner. Like it was real bad. I was like, you niggas literally it went from the best show I've ever seen, ever. And still, nothing beats the first 4 seasons. Like, anybody will tell you that. The first 4 seasons, like, I've seen The Sopranos, I've seen everything. Breaking Bad, everything. Nothing beats the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones. And they completely fucked up the ending. Like,
damn.
Made it so bad, niggas can't even rewatch it. Ruined the whole show.
They blew a 3-1 lead type shit. No.
Yo, what? They blew a 3-1 lead and they were going to win the 4th, but they, last bucket they lost type shit. Like that's how bad they folded. It was not, you know what I'm saying? God damn, they fucked up.
Man, how do you it's like how do you fuck up politics and dragons? Like I don't understand. Like,
that's why they trying to run it back with this new shit. But like, you know, I ain't gonna be tweeting it, but I ain't gonna be into it like that. Like I'm gonna watch just cause like everything else about Game of Thrones was so amazing. It's just they fucked the writing up so bad that it ruined the whole shit. Like that's why they doing the prequel, because the prequel already has the source material done, but like still they folded.
Damn, bro, that's rough. Yeah, like I knew that as soon as somebody accidentally left a Starbucks cup on the table when they were shooting, I was like, these motherfuckers don't care. They're done. They're checked out.
Tough. It was tough. Yeah, they was trying to go shoot with Disney for Star Wars. Them fuck niggas. Whatever. I don't even want to talk about it no more. That should be getting me upset.
I feel you. So from the time you saw Spider-Man, and like you grow up, and obviously like life happens. Like, was there a movie that you saw growing up that like kind of made you? Was there a movie growing up that you saw that kind of made you like appreciate film as like a, not even in like an artful sort of way, but something that just like made you stop and recognize it as something more than just like a piece of entertainment, like something that really just like touched you?
I think it wasn't until I was a little bit older. Like when I was young, the first movie that I felt like really I had a strong emotional reaction from was like 8 Mile. I thought that movie was great, but as I got older, it was like a switch. One day I was just like, man, I love movies. I think literally it was in combination with like I felt like every movie I was watching was a superhero movie, so superhero fatigue, and then like I remember, I think I saw Silence, or I saw like another Scorsese movie, and I was like, or I might have seen Ex Machina, and I was like, this movie is amazing. Why is nobody talking about this? Like, why? Like, that's what really made me be like, okay, I love movies, and I don't want to see this shit. It was just a combination of that, because I was just like, bruh, there's a lot of crazy shit out here. I felt like it was kind of like music. Like, I was like, there's a lot of crazy shit out here, but it's being overshadowed by like, and obviously there's great Marvel movies, but I was like, I don't give a fuck about Ant-Man, nigga. Like, Silence was way better than Ant-Man, nigga. What are you talking about? Like, that movie should be talked about. Like, I don't know. You know, that's what it was. Like, it wasn't one film. It was just a moment. It was like a light switch.
Right. So now I'm curious, since you mentioned like 3, and I want to start with Silence because it's one that I haven't talked about with too many people, and I really got to watch it again. But like,
ooh, you've seen it. All right, like, I gotta show you love off of that, because niggas don't even know about that.
Yeah, man. You're talking about the one with Andrew Garfield, right?
Yep, and Adam Driver, and they're in Japan, and they're priests.
Movie is crazy. It's a wild one, and like one that it wasn't really like around very many places. It didn't screen like nationally or anything, but like but like for you, like what was it about Silence that really grabbed you? Because that's like a super specific like you got to be in a mood to watch a movie like Silence.
But I like movies like that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I used to put my ex through a lot of that shit, man. Like, I would be like, I love long, slow burning, great acted, philosophical. Like, I just like movies like that. You know what I'm saying? I like movies that are just for entertainment too. But like, I just like when movies have, I think the perfect movie is a little bit of both. That's why I was talking about earlier, like the last movie that I thought was really great was Everything Everywhere, because I thought that was perfect mix of entertainment, but still like I came out of it and I was like, wow, like I have to look at life a little bit differently, because like I love movies like that, because ultimately at the end of the day, movies, music, everything like that, it's all stories. You know what I'm saying? You should leave with something. Like, man, I gotta, we had a conversation before, but everything that happened in my life the past 2 years, I was like, man, I gotta love the people that are around me more. I gotta appreciate things more. I gotta look at life from a different perspective. So like, I just been trying to be more grateful. And it's like, I like movies that help me come away with a perspective of like, man, like I gotta really appreciate something, or like, like don't take things for granted, or like whatever the the moral, the mood of it is, and Silence doesn't really have that. But I think I just thought it was amazingly acted, and I like movies that are accurate. I don't like movies where it's like, and then the bad guys lost and niggas won and everybody was happily ever after. Because life isn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's no resolution. Sometimes, it's just like, yeah, so this is some crazy shit that happened to me, and then I just lived out the rest of my life, and that was what it was. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what happened in Silence. You know what I'm saying? Nigga goes through all this shit, tries to bring Christianity to Japan, whoop-de-whoop, loses his boy. You know what I'm saying? His teacher fucking tells him, yo, step on Jesus, like changes his whole shit. And he's like, yeah, at the end, I broke and I lived my life. I always still kept Christ in my heart, but it is what it is. Like that's just life sometimes. Like, and I just thought that was so real. The same way with so video games do that too. Like the first Last of Us, I thought that was the same thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like ambiguous endings or endings where you don't really get closure. But sometimes I don't like that, but sometimes I do like that because that's life. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just enjoy the journey. I enjoy cinematography. I enjoy the acting. I enjoy atmosphere. I like so many other aspects of movies besides just the story and the ending. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sitting here, we talking about how Game of Thrones ended was trash. That was different. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, sometimes I don't know. I just appreciate that shit. So yeah, man, Silence was great.
Yeah, and it's great because because for people who know a lot about the stuff that Martin Scorsese makes, it's like he doesn't, a lot of we all know Scorsese is somebody who's like the mob dude, right? Like we know the Goodfellas and The Departed and all that shit, but
goddamn, what's that movie called? The one he just did on Netflix, 3 hours.
Oh, The Irishman.
Irishman, yeah, that was great too. I paint houses.
I still haven't finished The Irishman.
You sleep. It was great. Yeah. It was great. Definitely finish it.
I'm gonna pick it back up. But the thing, that's the thing everybody notices about Scorsese, which obviously it's right there. How could you not? But he's also big on Catholic guilt, this religious fucking and I think at first when I first heard about Silence, I was like, this doesn't sound like the type of movie he'd make usually. But when I watched it and really thought on it, I was like, it makes perfect sense. These are the types of themes he deals with in almost every single movie he makes. Like the fucking Christian, particularly Catholic guilt is as prominent as the mob stuff. He even made a movie about Jesus. It was which one was it? Because there's so many Jesus movies. He made I think his was blanking on the name. Oh man, I gotta look it up real quick. It was The Last Temptation of Christ. Right. That was Scorsese.
Oh, you know what? I did hear about that, but I never saw that movie. I never saw that movie. I gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. Okay. But yeah, I just think that's really interesting about Scorsese. Just he manages to make that a part of his movies the same way that somebody like David Cronenberg does with body horror. Even if it's not explicitly gross, it's always about some sort of bodily thing, what is violence, that type of shit.
Right.
When did you first fall in love with music? Because obviously those two things go hand in hand, but for you, when was music first a thing for you?
I think it was when I was a kid, to be honest with you. I don't know, and I can't even say I come from a musical background, you know what I'm saying? I know a couple of my homies that their parents are musicians and shit like that. That was never the case with me. My mom didn't even listen to hip hop music. I discovered hip hop music at my babysitter's crib, you know what I'm saying, when I was a kid. But I don't know, just one day I just wanted to start writing. I remember I was 7 and I wrote a rap. My mom hated it because I was like, fuck police, which is hilarious. I'm I think that's so funny to be 7 and be yeah, y'all niggas, something wrong with y'all. But yeah, that was when I first really just fell in love with it. I mean, I stopped for a little while because of that, because I would just write raps and my mom would be you're tripping, because my subject matter would just be wilding. But
right.
I came back when I was maybe 14, 15, and I was Yeah, you know what? I did used to like doing this shit. Like, there's a lot of stuff from my childhood that I did that I do now. So, like, music was a love of mine. Martial arts was a love of mine. Fucking piano was a love of mine. Games were a love of mine. I feel like in my adult life, I just been trying to get more in tune with like my interests as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And like what was it about music at that time that made you decide to just like come back to it?
I was in a class and like we had did like as an assignment, we had did like some sort of poetry shit or some shit like that, but it was like competitive. So I was in my head, I was like, oh, this is a rap battle. I used to rap when I was a kid. I'm finna shit on these niggas. So literally I just wrote something and I fucking whooped up on everybody and I was like, damn, I did used to goddamn snap at this shit. Who knows? And like, I don't know, like from there, because I can't say it was just that moment that I was like, oh, I decided. But like that was the catalyst because from there I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep kind of writing in my spare time whenever I feel like it was like picking up an old hobby again. You know what I'm saying? And then one day I was just like, damn, I'm getting pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? Like around the time I was like 16 or 17, I was fucking nice. I'm not gonna lie. When I was 17, I think I could have barred up anybody like on the planet. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't even think me now is I think I'm just older, so like my perspective has changed and like more about life. But I mean from a technical standpoint, I think I could have barred anybody up when I was 17. No cap. To this, like anybody in the world. There's not like because I was religiously just listening to Big L, Eminem, fucking Biggie, fucking like I was just listening like Papoose, Cassie. I was literally just listening to the craziest lyricists I could find. Craziest. Lupe. Yeah. I was listening to the craziest motherfuckers I could find. So at 17, I was just soaking it all up. And I was like, there's no nigga that's even coming close to seeing me right now. At all.
Man, so, you were barred the fuck up. Like
I was hella barred. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yo, this is different now. So yeah.
So in that case, when did you start recording? Like when was it like, oh, like I'm not just like barring niggas up, like I'm making this music?
It's literally as soon as I could buy a mic. I remember my boy got a new mic. My boy Dreambills. I still work with him today. He actually co-produced The Business and Only God Forgives.
Wow.
We grew up together. Yeah. Fucking he got a new mic and he had a studio at his crib. I remember I begged my mom, I was like, he'll sell me his mic for $60, please. And she was like, all right. We went, got that shit from Fool, and that was it. I just started recording, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember I had so many raps at that point, and like I just started to make beats on FL and shit like that. I made my whole album in like a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
and which project was that? It was one of like the early.
It was my very first mixtape. The Question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I haven't even heard that.
Yeah. Niggas don't even know about that. It's like you can't. It's so far back. I mean, people who know about me now, like really, the start for a lot of people is Vice City. But I had 6 mixtapes before that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
like. Been out here a little while.
I was doing my research over the course of the last couple of days, and I was re-listening to Vice City, and I realized you had like 5 other projects before this that I hadn't even heard, and I didn't get the chance to listen to, unfortunately. But it's like the shit doesn't just happen overnight. Is the lesson?
Not at all. There. And I mean, and my artistic journey is more so like I really don't count anything prior to Urameshi. Because like I count Vice City just because that was my first try at like really being like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna like really try and put together an album and everything like that. So I'll count that. But like before Urameshi, I mixed everything myself. I did everything myself. You know what I'm saying? Like Urameshi is the first time I ever had an engineer. You know what I'm saying? So like slow grind better than no grind. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't
shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I be always telling people, I'm like, because I used to have homies that would be like, yeah, bro, like I just feel like I'm not good enough yet. I always be like, nigga, just put it out. Like, you can't grow if you don't drop. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know the mistakes. It's like it's something I learned. I was watching a video yesterday, and one of these guys I watch on YouTube who reviews movies, he was talking about how he just got into directing, and an old saying is basically, you always know how to direct your movie after it's done. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. Like with albums, everything, you always know how to do it after it's done. You know what I'm saying? You learn.
Hindsight is 2020. That's
exactly. Exactly. So, you know, like, yeah, I don't trip about that shit. That shit all made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through that era. I had to go through the era of being real technical and being on this and being on that, to Vice City when I transitioned into like talking about real shit, talking about life, you know what I'm saying? And then just building from there to There's No Threat when I started producing for the first time, to Before the Night's Over when I produced everything, and now to ANAGO where I produced / co-produced everything, and like I've been able to merge the styles, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, just like it's a whole journey. And for you, and you're being that you're someone who's so influenced by not just music and not just film, but but you like anime and manga and games too. Like was there ever a moment when you first consciously linked, like, you usually when I ask people this question, it's like film and music specifically, but like, was there ever a moment in time when like you just kind of noticed like some sort of connection between any two disparate types of media, like film and music, or anime and music, or games and movies? It could be whatever.
As far as anime goes, it was definitely when I watched Samurai Champloo, because that like New Job is the
classic.
lo-fi beat. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop samurai shit. I was like, yo, this is fire, nigga. But everything else I can't really say too much. Just like, I mean, I just like playing video games because it's just another medium of storytelling, like movies. You know what I'm saying? Like it just gives me ideas as far as videos or as far as like other shit in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you pick up a lot of life lessons from all sorts of media. It's all art. At the end of the day, we're surrounded by art, whether it's the car you drive, the house you live in. I mean, even the medium which we're talking to each other right now, you know what I'm saying? This is art. Your laptop is art. Somebody had to design it, create it, you know, craft it. So like, I don't know. I just kind of look at life like that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, yeah. It's just like all art influencing art, like nature is like organic art, like a tree just like sprouted from an acorn type shit, like that's art.
Exactly.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've definitely, so my brother's a fighter, and like he helps me a lot with I'm an artist, so like I be going through more emotional stuff than he does. He's more stoic because you have to be relaxed when you fight.
Of course.
And we help each other a lot in different ways. And one of the ways he helps me out is like, he told me about I think it's the Book of Five Rings, which is by Miyamoto Musashi, and greatest fucking swordsman ever. And you know, it talks about him and his journey and being stoic and like focus and life and art, and like just these things help me look at life and view life in just a different perspective. You know, like you said, with organic art, like, you know, a tree sprouts from an acorn, you know what I'm saying? Like the leaves fall and grow back again. Like I just look at life through a different lens because of things like that. It's just, you sit and you become one with nature, you become one with the world, and like it's like because we are art ourselves too, you know what I'm saying? You were a child, you become an adult, and you become an elder, and then you pass, you know what I'm saying? From the earth you came, and from the earth you shall return, you know what I'm saying? So like,
See, now you're talking about Miyamoto Musashi. I've never read the book, and I really want to, but you just reminded me. Have you ever played the game Brave Fencer Musashi before on the PlayStation?
Nah.
So it was this like JRPG that was on the PlayStation 1. I had a demo disc, and it had the demo
disc. Okay,
man, fucking demo discs. Like, I still have a couple like laying around my crib, and I just look at them and I'm like, damn, like we really used to just like play demos off like a disc you'd get from like a magazine and shit. Like, and yeah, so like it had this game on it called Brave Fencer Musashi, and I had never heard of that. I you know, like obviously, like I'm like a kid, so I don't know what the fuck any of that means. But like I'm playing this game, and you're like this red-haired dude with a sword, and you're like fighting robots and like I don't know where, but like that game is. I have such a specific, like, vivid memory of playing that demo over and over and over again. I never played the full game itself, but like I just fucked with that so much, and I always wondered, what, it's probably a real shot in the dark to assume that it was named after Miyamoto Musashi, but like considering that he's the greatest swordsman on earth, on ever, like that probably was named after him.
Yeah,
and
it probably was.
Like just like that connection, just that just sparked something in my brain. I just had to bring that up.
Okay. Yeah, no, I never played it, but I mean that sounds dope. There's also a manga written about him called Vagabond. That's really good. You should definitely check that out.
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it yet.
It's fire.
All right, nah, I gotta, cause yeah, like manga is something else. I'm always so behind. Like I feel like every other week I tell myself I'm gonna finally catch up at One Piece. I'm gonna finally.
Oh no, I'm never doing that. I'm never doing that.
I'm gonna make it back.
It's too many. It's too many. I'm never doing that. Like I caught up to One Piece one time in my life, and it was like maybe 7 years ago, and it was like chapter 700, and I was like, this nigga isn't even halfway done. I caught up to it, and I could just tell. I was like, oh, this nigga isn't even halfway done with the story. I'm not reading this anymore. I'm done. You got it. Like,
so I assume you heard that Oda said he's like,
yep,
he has the ending ready.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, good. Finish it, nigga. Like, damn. I wish what's his name? I wish Togashi would be like Oda and just write Hunter x Hunter, nigga. Because if Hunter x Hunter got written like One Piece, there would be no One Piece. Hunter x Hunter.
That's a hot take. Oh my god.
It's not. Hunter x Hunter is the biggest. My nigga Togashi tweeted a picture of a shitty drawing of Kurapika, and it got 1 million likes.
Okay.
Come on, bro. What are we talking about? This is the best. Man. This is the best. Like, anybody that watches Hunter x Hunter, literally ask anybody about Hunter x Hunter. They'll be like, I want to recommend it to you, but it's not finished and you're going to like it. You're going to love it. It's probably going to become one of your favorites or your favorite. That's how good it is. This is the same nigga who made Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah. And like, and you know, like, come on, like, what more needs to be said about Yu Yu Hakusho? You literally made a whole project about how much you like Yu Yu Hakusho. So
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like what? Nah, Hunter x Hunter is the GOAT. It really is the GOAT. So
I've been meaning to rewatch it because I liked it when I first saw it, but I don't think
the manga goes crazy though. Like the anime gets up to a good spot, but after the anime is over, there's a wild fight. Hisoka fights Chrollo Lucifer. Fucking niggas. There's a Game of Thrones arc right now with Kurapika. Like that shit goes crazy. I'm trying to tell you. Man. I'm trying to tell you it goes crazy.
Yeah, I just really got to find the time to like go back to reading manga because I used to be like heavy on it, and now I just like right now I was marathoning JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I just finished what's the Diamond is Unbreakable. I just finished Diamond is Unbreakable. And like I needed to take a break because I was just like, bro, I ran through like the second half of Stardust Crusaders and then ran through all of Diamond is Unbreakable in like 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm JoJo'd out.
I've never watched JoJo. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's super popular and shit. I tried, but it just wasn't for me. I think it's fire though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing against it. It just took me too long. Like where I was at in anime and manga at that point, I was like, I don't want to wait 3 seasons because I was waiting for the stands. You know what I'm saying? So like the stands come in season 3. Yeah. And I was like, I don't care no more. You know what I'm saying? All this Sun Hamon shit, whatever. I don't care. And I just went on to other shit. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel it because I actually started it because I had some college homies who were watching the second season with the vampires, with Caesar and the Bubble Hamon and all that shit. And like I just like stumbled on them watching it and I was like, what's this? And I just caught up with them and like I was like, this is amazing. But they hadn't made Stardust Crusaders into an anime yet. So I kind of forgot about it for like 8 years.
Oh,
And
fair
then
enough.
and then all of it's on Netflix now. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
yeah, it's time to do it again. I started from I went through Phantom Blood. What was the second one called? Battle Tendency, Stardust Crusaders, and Diamond is Unbreakable. And I think the next one's Golden Wind, which I'm gonna start soon. But like, you know, it's just like it's all just like you're gonna be embarrassed about how not far in One Piece I made it. I made it 40 chapters into One Piece. They beat Arlong, and then I stopped.
Oh wow, Arlong.
So I'm far back.
Wow, Arlong. Yeah, just stop there. Don't you good. Honestly, you don't need to watch it. You don't need to see it. You good. You good.
Nah. I need that Luffy second gear in my life. I've been seeing too much cool shit. I need all that. I need all the Straw Hat Pirate adventures. But I'm also gonna run Hunter x Hunter again because just, you know, I just think it's that time. And it's been too long. I'm probably gonna get caught up.
You are gonna get caught up. I'm telling you, it's that good.
So earlier we were talking about Vice City, and you kind of like that being the first time where you really put your heart on the table, like we were saying before. And like and like the thing that I love about your music is that it really toes the line between you just kind of being on your like braggadocious shit and being very, very, very personal to you and like really trying to unravel these stories. Like not even in just like a way to entertain. I mean, like obviously it's about entertainment, but like you put so much of yourself into your music that like some of it almost feels like we shouldn't be listening to it. It like just in the sense that it's like it just feels so private and so intimate. And like considering that Vice City you said was like the first time you really tried that, like why did Vice City, or at least like what was like, I don't know why I'm struggling to ask this question. Why was then the time for you to kind of bridge those two different styles of your music? Like why was then the right time for that?
Because I mean, my whole thing was you're not gonna listen to a motherfucker you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my shit was like, you know, I don't like to get preachy, but like, you know, I recognize that even though it might not be the largest one, I do have a platform. And even at that time, I felt like I still had a platform. So it was like, what am I saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I just talking about how fucking good I can rap? Or like, am I saying something? And at the end of the day, if I want somebody to listen to me when I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to try and do better to be better people and like, you know, be better for each other. Like I had a tweet the other day where I was talking about cycles of violence, and it's like, and I mean that's what Kendrick's album was about, you know what I'm saying? Which we have to talk about in a little bit, but off record. But you know, like hurt people, and I was like, yes, I've been saying this forever, you know what I'm saying? But like, mother, if I'm just like hurt people, you shouldn't be bad. I'm gonna be like, who the fuck are you? Da 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 XYZ. So like for me, I was just kind of like, I gotta tell people my life, what I go through and what I've been through. So they're like, so maybe they can find some sort of hope or some sort of inspiration in that. Cause I done been through some dark times, but I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I might not have the biggest platform, but like I'd rather use my platform for a little bit of good than a little bit of evil or stand neutral. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that person. When I die, I hope I did something for somebody. I hope I made somebody's life a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? I hope I was able to do something. I hope people, or let me not say people, because you never know if people are gonna remember you, but I hope somebody's like, man, this song saved my life, or this song changed how I was gonna do things or whatever. Like that's, to me, that's where I was at. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started just doing shit like that.
Right. And like that makes sense. And once again, you know, like your music has never really felt preachy to me in that way. Like it really you managed to get your message across in a way that just like sounds fly, you know, like not even you're not lecturing anybody, like you're speaking from like personal experience and weaving that into a thing that just sounds good over beats. And that's like a lot, and that's a lot harder than people give it credit for. And you know, like and like we've been saying this a lot, but like that was kind of like that felt like a breaking point for you, just in like okay, like this is the type of time I'm on now, like I can do this. And then you know, like Urameshi is more of an expansion of that then leads to There Is No Threat, which is where you really start digging into the production. So when did you decide, like when was it like I want to make the beats too? Like had you been making beats before, or like was There Is No Threat like really the first time?
So I was making beats way back in the day, like mixtape days, but like I stopped because I got some producers and I was just like, I just want to focus on rapping. But I started again because I got into a wildlife situation, as all my best albums from people come from pain. But
we got to talk about that too. But yeah.
Well, no, it's all good. It's something like, it's just a fucking shorty. But like I was just going through it and I couldn't write. So I was like, well, I can't write. I'm just sitting at home depressed. So I needed something to throw myself into. I couldn't play games either. I was like at the point in my life where I was cutting out video games and I was, you know what I'm saying? So like I had no escape. So I just started making beats. I bought myself a laptop on OfferUp. It was $400. It was, you know what I'm saying? And
shout out to OfferUp. That's crazy.
Yeah. It wasn't even a Mac. It was just a nice HP laptop. Fucking, I put FL Studio on that bitch, and yeah, I just learned how to make beats. I was like, man, nobody can make beats the way I want to make them. And I'm sitting here, I'm going through all these beats trying to figure out what I want. I'm like, I know what I want. You know what I'm saying? And then 3 months into me learning production, I made fake shit. And then like I ended up producing half of my album. A year into producing, fucking, that's when I produced Poison Clan for me, Denzel, and Play That Boy Zay, and a bunch of other shit. Like, so I was like, all right, well, I got pretty good at this pretty quick. So yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I could control my sound. I feel like as an artist, if you don't produce, you'll never have your true authentic sound. You might get close, but you'll never have your sound, because who knows you better than you?
Right. And I get that too, because, you know, like when you're rapping over somebody's beat, like you're basically having a conversation with somebody else. Right. And like as close as you may or may not be to a person who's helping you make music, like you just said, they're not you. So
exactly.
So like I'm always really intrigued by rapper producers because of that. Like y'all have a really, you know, like you're basically just having a conversation with yourself in a not like wild, like masturbatory kind of way. But like, you know, like for like, but for you, like, you know, like how, yeah, like a couple questions before we move back to the projects proper. Like as a rapper producer, like, do you or yeah, like how does your rapping influence the way you produce, and how does your producing influence the way you rap? Because I feel like it has to, right? Like,
how's my rapping influence the way I produce?
Yeah, and then the other way around. Unless it just doesn't, and I'm just bullshitting.
I don't think it really influences it. I think there's just, I'm able to do more. Like, okay, back in the day, if I was like, all right, I want to do a boom bap track now, because I've done a couple hype tracks and like, that's not the vibe I'm on. I have to find a nigga that I think is raw with the boom bap. I have to find a beat I like. I have to be like, yo, all sorts of extra shit. Now I can just be like, nah, I want to do some boom bap shit. So I'm just going to go and chop up samples till I make a really hard boom bap beat. And then I'm just going to rap over it. Like, I think it just gives me ability to shape, and I mean, it's going to be perfectly to my taste. You know what I'm saying? So like, it just gives me the ability to shape my music the way I want. I think, like I said, I think that's priceless. I think you don't get that with, you know, I still love working with other producers, but like,
of course,
I don't know, I'm a very solitary person. You know what I'm saying? So like, it just makes it easier for me to do shit like that.
Right. You know, and I think, like I think that shows, on a song like 25 to Life from the end of There Is No Threat, like the song with you and Sylvan. Shout out to Sylvan McHugh, who's
shout out
amazing.
to Sylvan. Yeah.
And yeah, just like you just like blacked out. And it's just like, to me, like it's just like the perfect middle ground between the two types of music you were talking about, like between like the hype stuff and the more thoughtful stuff. Because there's like a little bit of both of that there. And if I remember correctly, you did produce that one, right? I'm not tripping.
No, my boy Prolific produced that. Yeah.
Shout out to Prolific. My fault.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah, he snapped on that. He was one of, that project that was mainly me, Downtime, and Prolific.
Yeah. Right. And you said that Fake Shit was one of the first beats you made by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about Fake Shit that made you be like, yeah, this is it? Like,
because I like different types of music. I don't know. I was just grooving to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like, people don't understand. Like, when you produce, it's like, I don't know. I can't speak for other producers, but like, I can produce in multiple genres. You know what I'm saying? Because I like multiple genres, and I understand the skeletons of them. You know what I'm saying? What makes a genre a certain genre? A lot of it comes down to percussions and bass. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. I just made it, and I was like, this is a vibe. Immediately, I started freestyling to the skeleton. I was like, yeah, I know I'm about to slide on this. Went to the studio, and I was like, yeah, this is where it's at. So from then, I just locked in. I made maybe 100, 200 beats that year. This year is gonna be even crazier though. I'm probably gonna make like 400 this year.
Yeah, because you've been moving through the different production software, and like you're just like really, like
I'm
you're
on
in it
Ableton now. Yeah, I'm on Ableton now. I produced my whole album in Ableton.
Right. Yeah. Right. You mentioned that before, and you know, like Before the Night Is Over, like I remember because I interviewed you for DJ Booth back right when There Is No Threat came out, and like so you know, like in between There Is No Threat, which was produced by you and others, and then Before the Night Is Over is the one that's all you.
Yeah.
And
so is ANAGO.
Right. And you know, like and that one, like I kind of sort of remember like you and Kev kind of communicating that it, like you know, like it was a little risky considering that you were going for a couple songs that were like melodic, which you hadn't really done before. So like,
I mean, I have. It just depends on how long of a fan of mine you've been, because like I always would sneak one in. Like Fake Shit is a melodic song, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like there wasn't anything on You're a Meshy, but You're a Meshy, I just wanted to do something to like perform. But fucking Before Vice City, I had done that before. Like I didn't think it was super out of line for me, and I'm also a firm believer in good music is good music. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you got some shit, like when I made We'll Be in Love, I was like, I don't care if I've never made a song like this. I know this song is fire and it's still gonna do well. And it was my #1 song all of last year.
The song is great too. Like still, like I still listen. I still listen to that one. Honestly,
appreciate it.
No, of course. And like, you know, like you just kind of, you know, you've always been someone who's extremely confident, but like you're really just like confiding in yourself more and more and more with every project.
Yeah, I believe in myself.
Yeah, as you should, you know, like you know, like you wouldn't put it out like if you didn't fuck with it, like
yeah.
And like so considering everything that had happened in your life that led up to ANAGO, like what, like talk to me about, I mean, like when we linked back in November, you explained to me like you kind of gave me the whole like roadmap
Yeah.
for ANAGO. You obviously don't have to do that right now, but where did the initial idea of like I need to make this into music come from for ANAGO?
There's a moment on To Pimp a Butterfly that I always call back to because I feel like I had that same moment where Kendrick is like, I found myself screaming inside of a hotel room, not knowing what to do. Literally me, but replace hotel room with a beach. And you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know if I'm even gonna make it out of this shit. It seems like the world's ending. We was in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a breakup, in the middle of friends and family dying. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I just snapped. I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna record. And whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna make an album if I die. Doesn't matter. Like, that's where I was at. I just started going. Like, my life was distorted. The world was distorted. I was on a different vibration, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that reflects in the album.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the thing about ANAGO that's really been getting me as I've been listening to it is that it really does feel like it has bits and pieces of every single thing you've done up until now. You know, like I hear you know there's like a little bit of There Is No Threat, a little bit of Before the Night Is Over, a little bit of Vice City. It's just but they don't feel like retreads. It just feels like you kind of take in all that stuff and form something new out of it.
Right.
You know, like and yeah, nah, like that shit is just like really tight to me because especially when you explained it to me, like I gotta tell y'all, like I can't remember the last time I had somebody explain their album to me in such detail from like track to track to track. It really did feel like you were giving. It really did feel like we were in like the middle of like a pitch meeting with like a script or something. You know, like feels like it does feel like a movie in that sense. And I guess I was just curious, like while you were, I mean, like obviously this is your real life you're talking about, and obviously I don't want to trivialize it, but like looking back on it, like did it feel like creating? Did it feel like you were turning your life into some sort like? Did it feel like you were really like tapping into your life to create a story like more than it ever had at any point? I don't know why I asked that question like that.
No. I think, I don't know. I don't think it was. It just, like I said, the entire album I feel like was just streams of consciousness. Like when I made Only God Forgives, I was shaking mad that night. I was so mad. I don't even remember what I was mad about, but I was like, I need to, and like, you know what I'm saying? In my apartment back home, like I had a punching bag, you know what I'm saying? I had weights. I could have got my anger out multiple ways, but I was like, I need to yell right now. I just felt crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was recording Dear God, I felt like there's no hope in the world. I don't know what, I feel like I've been forsaken. I don't know what's going on. Like every song on this project was just a stream of consciousness. I can't say that there was a conscious effort to like tap into something or like, you know, like I'm trying to dig into my life or anything like that. I was just in front of the mic, dog. Like,
yeah.
You feel me?
And that song in particular, I could tell, like, just like the tone of your voice is just like, you could tell something happened. You know? Like,
you know what I'm saying?
And you know, like since we're here, and what was your favorite song on here? Because
that's tough. It changes a lot.
Yeah, because you gave me one answer when we talked about it last, but I feel like it's kind of changed. So like right now, what's your favorite song?
Right now, I feel like post album, I feel like I just love Wonderland so much, but I don't know. I love Madman. I think It's so funny. I have this problem. Every time a song gets popular, I don't like it. So like Jungle is one of the most popular songs on the album. It's probably one of my least favorites right now, but it was one of my favorites when I was recording it. I love XO too. I think it's got to be Wonderland or Madman though. I think just because like I don't know, I just love the production on Wonderland. I think it's probably one of the best beats that I made last year, and I think Madman is just so honest. Like I just like, even though it has no drums, like I just love the atmosphere in that song. I just feel like it just, I don't know, it just brings me to a world. Like, yeah, those are my two favorites probably right now.
Good shit. I'm actually happy you brought Madman up because not everybody is able to rhyme with no drums. That's a really hard. It's a difficult thing to do because.
Well, like, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But while I was making the album, I was listening to a lot of Boldy James, Griselda type shit. So like, and you know, I'm a student of the game, so like, I love like rhyming over samples. I was like, yo, what? Slide on a sample because I could really fucking rap. Like, yeah, I don't need drums. But my bad. You were saying
no. Don't apologize. I'm happy you said that. It's just really, you know, because like people will hear stuff with like no drums or like really, really quiet drums and just be like, oh, like where's the drums? And it's like, you know, like your voice becomes the percussion and like you're kind of like keeping the rhythm of the song. And like doing that is not easy, you know, like you're putting in a lot more work than you normally would if you were just gonna like go over something like Morpheus, for example, or like even Only God Forgives, you know, like those are like really like the vibes are just different. And you just throw that in there as the second track, like especially following a song like Morpheus with such distinctive like pounding drums. It's like
that's why I did that. That's why I did that. When I did the sequencing of the album, I was like, okay, I'll give you niggas what you want because it's been a long time for the first song, but you have to understand this is not just an album of like, all right, I'm coming back and I'm just rapping over whatever shit for a couple of songs. Like I have to bring people into the world. So with Madman, that's really the theme of the album. So no drums. You have to listen to what I'm saying. I have to bring you into the world so you understand what you're in for. And then, because that's the only song that does that. But I really needed motherfuckers to listen to what I'm saying on Madman. And then everything else we can go from there, because sometimes, you know what I'm saying, if you really like a song, you might just be vibing to it and not really hear what's being said on the song. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want that. I wanted people to be like, there's nothing for me to hear but this nigga rapping at me, so I gotta pay attention to what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So
and you know, like if I'm being honest, I think if I'm being honest, I want to say that like right now, having listened to it again a couple times, my three favorite songs are probably, well, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna say four. I'm gonna say Madman, Jungle, XO, and the title track are my four favorite songs on here.
Okay, ANAGO.
Like ANAGO in particular is just so like, it's like the whole, you really just crunch your entire story into this into just like 2.5 to like 3 minutes, right? It's 3.5 minutes of like just like everything with like you and your father and just like your friend and like where the name Anonymuz came from, where the Radicxl thing came from, just like it's all there. And crazy it shit. Just feels epic, bro. Like it really does feel like you just like crunched an entire life into 3.5 minutes.
Well, the crazy thing about that is like, so I told you how my uncle passed. I think I told you the story about how when he had passed, he had told me that he made music and so like for anybody who's watching that doesn't know, so like my uncle made music his whole life and he passed last year of cancer, and he told me before he passed, he was like, you know, my thing is I don't want anybody to never hear the music that, you know, him and his wife created. And I knew at that point, I was like, I gotta sample what he made. So the sample for ANAGO is one of the pieces that my uncle made, like before he passed. Yeah. So like it just seemed appropriate for it to be the last song and talk about my dad, talk about my life, talk about everything.
Yeah, and just like what a kicker for an album, man. Like, you know, like just like the thing that really like surprises me about your projects every time I hear them is like I always think like, what else don't I know about this motherfucker? You know, and then you just find, I mean, like it's your life, but like you just give us more, and it's just like, and you know, it's just like that can be like it's a lot to listen to, but I know it's even more to just like be in that position where you're like, okay, I'm gonna give myself to you and like make this and like put this pain into my music, you know, like and you know, like right now especially like across every kind of rap imaginable, like, you know, like so-called pain music is like that's what people are gravitating to more than almost anything. And like, does that ever get to be a lot for you? Like, you know, just like the idea of like us giving each other our pain and like connecting with each other on that. Like,
I don't know, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not really like, I don't really give a fuck about what other niggas is doing. Not to be like that person that's like, oh yeah, I don't like, but I really just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just very, this is for me. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling everybody, I'm like, that's why, you know, I was nervous before, but like, I told you, I got to a point where I just didn't care because like, this is my life. I stand by my art and like, I needed to put this out. The same way, like, whether, you know, I keep on bringing up Kendrick, but like, you know, I felt like the same thing with his album. Whether you like it or not, I feel like it was definitely just for him. He probably just needed to get that out of his system. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, and I feel the same way. I was just like, bruh, I'm going crazy and I have to tell somebody. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I don't think it gets too much because like for me it was cathartic. I feel better than ever, to be honest with you, like putting it out, having it be out in the world, and like, yeah, there, you know, there's nothing else I could really ask for. Like, I don't think I'm gonna do it again for a long time. Hopefully, I mean, you know, pain is almost 100% promised, but like, you know, I hope I don't have to go through another moment like that for a long time in my life. And you know, like for right now, I just want to enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? Keep writing, keep working, keep making dope shit, and you know, work on Slim Reaper. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yeah, man. And you know, like and you know, like you kind of, you know, like you've built yourself a community of people like with radicals, really, that just like you know, like people are showing up for you no matter what type of shit you're making. Like you can make stuff like 25 to Life or ANAGO, or you can make stuff like the West Side Freestyle, which is or just like or the business, you know, like exactly, you know, just like, so like people are gonna be there no matter what, like whether you're working by yourself or you're working with Denzel or you're working with Sylvan LaCue or anybody, you know, like, and before we officially wrap this up, like I was just curious, like, you know, like your fan base is probably one of the most dedicated that I've ever seen, that doesn't border on like cult shit, you know, like you know, like your people aren't like, it's not like the Beehive or like the fucking Navy or like the BTS people where like you got like people like attacking each other over bullshit, but like you have people who are like dedicated to you and your sound and are really you know, like it's not just like listeners, like people are like invested in you and your story. And
I think so. I hope so.
That, like, you know, like speaking from the outside and like seeing like every time I write about you or cover you, like I get like 30 motherfuckers who share it that have some sort of radical in their name. so people care, bro. Like I'm gonna tell you, people care. Like people really care. So I guess I guess I'm just wondering, like when for you did you first realize that like Radicxl was an idea that was really starting to like, you know, like you put music out and people like react to it, but eventually it comes to the point where people are doing what I just said. Like, when did you first start noticing that? And, you know, like,
it's a little weird because I can't really even say like I noticed it. That sounds kind of bad. It's not though, like, because man, I think this is part of the reason why people fuck with me too. Like, but I'm such a normal nigga. I always try and tell people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I had a show in New York, and I forgot what happened, but a fan came up to me and he was freaking out, and I was like, yo, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad people share the music, but like, I'm not. One of my things is I'm against the deification of celebrities. Like, we're all just people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Good, bad, and ugly. So, you know, I try not to focus on these things because as good as the love is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, let's say I fucking blow up crazy this year, become one of the biggest artists in the game, right? It's gonna be a lot of hate too. You know what I'm saying? From people that don't know me, don't listen to me, don't give a fuck about me. They just don't want to see me. You know what I'm saying? They're tired of seeing me, or they feel like they have an opinion about me because they're seeing me a lot. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm so blessed and I'm so glad that people do, you know, fuck with me heavy and fuck with Radicxl heavy and, like, you know what I'm saying, share this shit. But at the same time, like, I try not to focus on it. My main thing is I just keep on trying to get better as a musician and become better as a person. Because at the end of the day, like, most people are like, yeah, when I die, I want to leave a legacy. I want to When I die, I want motherfuckers to be like, I want motherfuckers to be sad and when people are like, why are you so sad? I want motherfuckers to be like, nah, you don't understand. I was a real nigga. One of the last ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So.
And, you know, like, that's, and you know, like you said, like, that's a reason why people fuck with you the way they do, because that's like, it's good to just be normal, and it's good to not, like, you know, like, you don't need to be somebody who, like, people hold on a pedestal. And
I mean, we're all normal. We just have to realize it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all normal. I don't see anybody as like, you know, all men, you know what I'm saying, they like to say are not created equal, which I agree with also, but we are also all created equal. Like, as long as you're, to some degree, as long as you're conscious, you can do anything.
Yeah. And, you know, like, we're all conscious. Like, all of us are, you know, like that, like, you know, like to be conscious doesn't even mean to talk about, like, you know, like, enlightened or, you know, like, societally
just
beneficial
aware
things. It's, exactly. Just
aware.
being conscious is being aware. Exactly.
Yeah, just aware. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? As long as you exist in reality and you're like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I'm here. You know, I have my wits about me. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can do anything.
And you're just relaying your experience to people, and people appreciate it, you know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's all I can do. I can't do anything but talk about my experience. And I mean, I tell people I'm normal because, like, yo, I am. Like, ain't no, like, I know that there's some people that probably would love to switch places with me, but I'm like, no, motherfucker, live your life, because I go through the same shit that you probably go through. I got problems with friends. I got problems with family. I got problems with shorties. I got highs, lows, love, hate, laughs, cries, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Got this phone bill to pay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm human, dog. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? I'm human, dog. Feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanna share to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, live the experience, love that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got your life, you got your story.
Man. And, like, on that note, to bring this to a close, if your life was a movie, what would it be about, Anonymous?
If my life was a movie, what would it be about? I don't know. It hasn't finished yet. I think I think this is just the prologue.
Damn.
Yeah. Come back to me with that in like 3-5 years.
I got you. I got you. Funny enough, you're the first person to answer that question that way, and I'm happy because that's a good answer. You know, like that's a really good answer. Like you know, like every second is just like happening, right? Like time is passing right now. So
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, anything could happen to me today, tomorrow, next week. Who knows? So
right.
I can't tell you right now. My story's not over.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm like 80, 70, maybe I could be like, yeah, my life would be about this, that, and that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even 30 yet.
Right. But so, man, you're here now, and bro, once again, like this was great. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like,
hey, appreciate you too, dog.
Nah, man, absolutely. It's really just been so great to like see. It's just been so great to see such a fervor around like someone who makes like really good music and just like a genuine solid dude, like, and like you're really just like doing your shit. So just like congratulations. Like I'm so happy that people are fucking with the album, and just like congrats on everything, man. I know you've been through a lot, like, so the fact that you're here is just like
fucking lot.
Man, just like I'm just happy you're good. That's all that matters to me, is that you're good. And once again, like you being here is, it means a lot. So thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. Shout out to y'all for making it this far. And shout out to all the Black people listening too, because y'all really impeccable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend to come through next time. 1.